loyal viewers of mine. Today, we have a diamond in the rough. At least I'm predicting. Let me get to why. It's a video from Ray, the big man himself from Ray's Guide. And the title, wait for it, Star Citizen PvP, that's one, at distribution centers, that's two, and org events, that's three. Three topics I'm absolutely interested in. Obviously, we like a little shooting player spaceships over here, yeah? You guys know me by now. We like to dabble. Two, distribution centers. If you've looked at any of my distribution center-esque videos, you'd know I'm huffing all kinds of copium when it comes to these distribution centers. I'm hoping for Space Tarkov. And look, I know all of you have been giving me comments not wanting Space Tarkov. Well, too bad you're getting it. No, I get it. Okay, I get it, but too bad. That's what I want. All right, it's a fun game. I like sophistication. I like skill. I like it to be complex. I like to think about things and watch YouTube videos on Tarkov. Sue me, okay? Sue me. Love it. Bring it over here, okay? Too bad. So sad. Anyways, distribution centers and then org events, okay? I run a little organization, okay? A little humble organization called Shadow Moses. Maybe you heard of it. Okay, so this video, I'm expecting this to be spicy. Spicy. But here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing about Ray, the big man himself. Ray, his videos are either he hits a 6, okay? Off into the stars, right? Like the best video, the best takes ever. Or, okay, or an absolute dumpster fire. It's one of the two. Okay, man, sometimes it's 50-50, but he either absolutely hits it or absolutely misses it in spectacular fashion, and I'm here for it, okay? Ray, big fan, brother, big fan. Let's see what he says. No, let's not see. Let's talk about Discord, okay? I'm going to put 2 Discords in the top pinned comment. I need all of you to report in, okay, to the Virgil Discord, where you should be feeding me reactionary videos, etc., etc. And the Shadow Moses Discord, because we got some developers that talk there. We got some PvP shenanigans, some org drama, some memes, sports, other games. The list goes on, yeah? It's a pretty fun Discord. Get in them, report in, yeah? Anyways, on to Ray's video.
Hello, this is Danny Raymond, the voice behind Ray's Guide, and the combination of the most recent ISC on distribution centers and a post and dev reply on Spectrum has caused me to decide to once again talk about the subject of PvP, since, well, there are new things to say about it.
Oh boy, here we go.
The segment on distribution centers was concerning to many players because while they talked about bringing all sorts of players together, most of the time they spent talking on various forms of FPS combat missions and almost nothing about how distribution centers would function as, distribution centers.
So he's mad at the distribution and distribution centers. Yeah, valid, I guess. I mean, you guys know me, right? Like, I want FPS to be validated. I played Star Marine today. Watching players come back to life after I killed them instantly was, it was bad. So frustrating. Does that happen in the PU? It can't, right? But I'm really looking forward to the FPS content being validated, like extract camping, sniping, going in as a group, running into other groups down there in these bunkers. Man, it's gonna be a blast. Really looking forward to distribution centers, as I said in the intro, huffing all kinds of copium. As for the logistics, my understanding was there was going to be some more casual bunkers that are kind of less combat orientated and maybe more peaceful, which I think he'd be referring to, or is that not the plan? I guess we'll see.
In particular, this sequence was alarming, with concerns that it wasn't just an exploding toilet, but actually represent...
Wait, what was that? Let's read that again. We got definition for exploding toilet. A scene intended to illustrate a concept rather than show actual events. I've never heard of that. Okay.
But actually represented an example of what we could expect. That having to carry a box through a combat zone is what was going to be expected. Because, not to belabor the obvious,
it's a hot extract, boys. It's a hot extract.
This is not a weapon. You can't say get good because unless we're suddenly being able to throw a box with the range and lethality of a P6 LR sniper rifle.
Yo, you get a grav tool and you get a swing, my man. I think you could.
There's nothing particular to get good about. Similarly, if you say just higher protection, how much of the 6,000 credits from delivering a package should one have to spend on bringing their own crew of mercenaries along just for the ride?
Based. How can you afford an escort if you're only making 6K profit? The answer is the profit you need to make should be a lot higher, because the risk should be higher. But man's got a point. But I don't think like these distribution centers are about, hey, go retrieve a single box. Like, it can't be that, could it?
Lose money on every single trip. During the video, they described 4 quadrants of players: aggressive lawful, aggressive unlawful, unaggressive unlawful, and unaggressive lawful.
Man, like this to me was dorky. Like, if you're talking about like the bunkers, okay, but trying to fit players into these boxes, man, I'm in all 4 of these boxes at the same time, okay? Like, I thought this stuff was dorky.
Now, if you really are accepting that there are 4 categories of players, then each player should be able to arrive and complete what they came for with a reasonable expectation of not being forced into another quadrant. If not, then you've only accepted that there are 3 quadrants of.
This is like my ex-girlfriend getting me to do like some 40 questionnaire thing to like decipher my personality and put me like, no.
Player and invalidated the 4th. Now, this doesn't mean that there shouldn't be the opportunity for the unexpected, but it should be a case that when I arrive for a delivery or cargo operation and I hear, let's say, broadcast over the loudspeakers that there's an emergency, then certainly I should be able to put down my package, pick up my gun, switch to the new mission, and have some fun. But I also need to be able to not do that, to just finish the delivery or pickup and be gone without an unreasonable or intolerable risk. Now, honestly, I think that CIG is likely already smart enough to realize that. This, I think, is an example of where perhaps the ISC team should be more careful about using metaphors when they create images, because some people are just completely literal.
It's just a metaphor, dude.
His people are completely literal. Metaphors are gonna go over his head.
Nothing goes over my head. My reflexes are too fast. I would catch it.
If I could make one other comment about the distribution centers, among the ones that are active and still functioning, there should be a rotation as to which ones are, at any given time, hot. Because to have a...
Okay. You'll like that. Yeah, changes the scenery a bit. Gets the meta moving around. I dig it. I absolutely dig it. Because that's like another issue, right? Is if none of these distribution centers are more prevalent or more meta or more rewarding to do over the others, then there's no hotspot, and we're all spread out across a ridiculous amount of bunkers and barely having any interaction. So like King of the Hill being one bunker that rotates, kind of like Jumptown rotates around moons. Yo, I dig it. Good take. Good direction so far.
Business where the chief executive is constantly being assassinated, or there are constant battles with guards, it destroys credulity. Now, if there are some essentially abandoned ones taken over by lawless elements, well, a different story. Which brings me to the Spectrum post that has gotten a lot of attention about the rules about targeted interference. What I suspect was behind this is once again the Daymar rally was held, and once again it was heavily interfered with by folks who see their purpose as interfering with things for fun. This
No. I think I mentioned this in the video, but like, you guys know, like, we did this really like big time in 2020. Got into a lot of trouble for it, but Like people like the Daymar Rally is accepting of that. They're really cool with that. They got security. It's like the success story. But we're talking about attacking events now. Here we go.
Resulted in some bans for the worst offenders from CIG. The post on Spectrum was a demand.
No, nobody's been banned for attacking the Daymar Rally. I don't think there's ever been a ban for that. They got banned for that other event.
And for specific guidance from CIG about what did and did not qualify as a major event, and what does and does not qualify as planned interference with it. The reply from CIG was a restatement of policy from 4 years ago that can basically be summarized as, we'll know it when we see it, and just use common sense and you should be okay. Now, I can sympathize with the poster's desire for firm definitions for boundaries.
Dude, he's talking about the griefing thread. So, just for anyone who hasn't read the other videos, or sorry, watched the other videos and stuff, a lot of the PvP orgs, we avoided this, decided to go out of their way and ask for clarity from the developers on where the line is exactly. They got the same, you're gonna have to guess it, answer that we got 4 years ago when we talked about this. No surprises there, but he's referring to a thread. I was actually maybe gonna do a video on it, but now that it's like simmered down, but I don't know, we'll see.
But I also know that for those enjoying the creation of mischief, any such specific boundaries will mostly be used to see exactly how far those boundaries can be pushed, still claiming that you're staying within them, which is also essentially why CIG wants to keep their flexibility in interpretation. But there's something else. If CIG says that their real desire is to address this kind of problem with a robust reputation system, then, well, where is it? We know the core of the reputation system has been around for years. Apparently, hopefully, some of this is on the roadmap for 3.23, so if this truly is how you see the solution happening, then make it so. But beyond that, 1. Emergent gameplay is not an excuse for bad core design. If stuff is happening beyond your control that you don't want to be happening, then get it under control. Number 2, emergent gameplay is not an excuse for lacking having the tools to help players cooperate more effectively. For example, every MMO I've ever played has had a system for some sort of secure trading between players. Star Citizen still does not. Saying that it's not realistic and it's better to have the emergent gameplay of people cheating and
like a market. I want a market, yeah? Where we can put stuff up for sale and buy stuff. Let's make the economy, you guys know me in the economy, let's make the economy actually mean something and stop playing with our NFTs. Based again, Ray.
Backing out of promises is not good because it is more important to have people be willing to interact with each other. Number 3, emergent gameplay is not an excuse to be a jackass to other people. The statement, I like treating people like shit in the game, is not sanitized in any way by including the phrase in the game.
Yeah, okay, but what do you mean? What is treating people like shit? Because shooting at your spaceship in a spaceship game, Ray, is probably intended game design, yeah? Or ambushing you in the bunker with a rifle because you were looting or doing a mission, intended game design, yeah? Should there be balancing to that? Yes, yes, yes. But that isn't that's not bad behavior. You just don't like it because you're lost. Or the people don't like it because they didn't want PvP in particular, but no one ever does, when they're out doing anything besides PvP. People that are hauling and trading don't want to get pirated most of the time. So does that classify that as bad behavior? No, it's just emergent gameplay. I don't know about this. It depends on what you're talking about. And if you define what you're mentioning now as treating people like shit.
We're treating people like shit. Period. Number 4, good PvP event design.
Not period. Like, what do you mean by that? Expand on it, brother.
In an MMO isn't done until you've planned for the yellow team. What is the yellow team? Well, the blue team works towards the primary success, and the red team works to counter the blue team, and the yellow team is there just to F everything up. I call them the yellow team because typically they have a fondness for cheese wins. And the yellow team...
Oh no, he's falling off. Stop it. Yeah, so no, like you don't fit an entire community into red or blue, and then anyone that happens unexpectedly is then cheesy and like being a piece of shit. Nah, dude, like it's a total open world sandbox. Whatever happens, happens. You know, like the pirates can't complain if more the other pirates attack them. You know, because they're supposed to be on the red team along with you. No, it don't work that way. Like this is like personality assumptions and stuff. I don't like this stuff. Like it's an emergent game. It's a sandbox. It's open to interpretation. Things happen. That's why we enjoy it. It's like, for example, why I don't sit in arena. I do now in master raids because I'm sweating it out. But I don't just go in arena commander because I only want PvP to happen according to the plan. I want PvP to happen not according to the plan. I want like an organic experience. So, you know, the second, like, this is what I don't like is people want to control the script of their experience and everybody else's experience in a open world sandbox with a prison in game for consequences. Players are going to do what they want. And if you don't like it, don't play in the sandbox. Yeah? That's it. And can you argue and debate the balancing and consequences of what people do in the sandbox? Absolutely. But you share it. You don't own it, yeah? And I hate that like thinking. Like a lot of people have that, especially the anti-PvP crowd, the only play PvE crowd. You know, like I get so many people in my comments that are like, "Oh man, it's alpha, it's beta, it's too early for an economy. You know, we don't need that now." It's like, man, it's year 12. We need it yesterday. I can't stand people that want their niche experience of flying a spaceship with the $300 USD they spent, and then and that's the experience they signed up for. End of story. It's like, nah, man, like the whole game was promised to us. And it doesn't have to fit in the box of what you want it to be and not what everyone else wanted it to be. My expectations are that it becomes an actual game sooner than later, now preferably. A game. A lot of the people that play back comments on YouTube videos, not you guys. You guys are above this, aren't we, boys? We're absolutely above this. But some people almost don't want it to be finished. They just wanted to stay in this limbo of they get to watch the development and comment on it and debate about it and have discussions about the development and never see it become a game because it's just funner to watch it get built forever, apparently. No, let's get to the finish line. Let's build upon it more once it's released and once it's at that point. But I'm tired of it, man. Like I want my community to be players. Yeah, like you guys, I want you guys to be the guys that get into spaceships, okay, and shoot at other players' spaceships. Whether it's lawful, it's unlawful. If you like to do PvE, that's great, okay. I'm all supportive of it. Hopefully, it's challenging enough to justify it, okay. Don't mind a good PvE challenge at all, but I'm all about people playing it, man. What a rant, but you know, the script belongs to nobody. Yeah, whatever happens, happens.
Is a tough thing to counter because their sole satisfaction is effing everything up. UEC and Reputation and Crime Stat are nothing.
It's just effing it up is your interpretation.
By comparison to the joy of just effing with everything and everyone. Number 5, the one thing.
What is piracy then? Is piracy not that? You know, like, is bounty hunting criminal factions not that? Is going to prison in game, you know, because you did a crime stat and based mission and a PvP bounty hunter came along? Is that not the same thing? Like, it's, I hate this take.
That I recently advocated for that might help is better in-game comms. Discord has a lot of features, but one of them isn't knowing who is on which team in the game. So spying is easier when comms are happening using outside tools, like Discord. And spying is a big part of the yellow team. They need to know what is happening and where so that they know where to camp and what to come prepped for. Number 6, another thing that would help is if CIG came.
The thing is, Ray, is you need to come to terms with the game you purchased, okay? The game you purchased is a space MMO. There is a long-lasting culture that has been in the space MMO, space video game genre forever and ever. 20 years now, okay? The guild, like, corporation espionage in video games, it came from EVE Online. It's in Elite Dangerous. It's going to be in every space game to ever exist because that is the player base. That is the culture. Yeah, it's sure as hell going to be in Star Citizen. And the developers, the community managers talk about them being excited for that gameplay as well. So that's just the reality of it. Like, people need to understand that space games are notoriously more cutthroat than your typical World of Warcraft MMO, for example, or your Dungeons and Dragons. The player base of the culture in these type of games is a lot more Game of Thrones-esque, okay? Backstab, betrayal, spying, all this jazz. Like, this was never gonna be No Man's Sky with some more players, yeah? Like, it was going to be a bloodbath. It was always going to be a bloodbath. And do I think it needs to be entirely? No. Put the players that aren't interested in their corner of the sandbox, let them frolic, let them serve drinks at the bars, all that stuff, yeah? But space is dangerous, things are complicated, there is a narrative here, you can't control it, yeah? But just understand, you're in the space MMO culture here, brother. And the dark deeds happen in these games.
Up with a structure for Org Wars events, ones that can have several benefits, such as spreading out the action so it doesn't kill the frame rate at just one spot,
Sure.
and to make it impossible.
Yo, based is all hell. Avoid the big swamping of players and the server performance getting extremely hindered by creating objectives that are cross system, stuff like that. Hell yeah.
Possible for the yellow team to interfere. Sure, it is fun for orgs to come up with their own scenarios for events, but unlike them, CIG has access to methods and tools that the players themselves don't. So what would that look like? Well, the first thing that happens, maybe in-game or on the website, the leaders of the org or orgs that want to be on the red side and the ones on the blue side that want to have a war define when it should happen and for how many hours it should last. And then at the start of the event,
too arcadey. If, like, war happens, it happens. There's no rules. There's no nothing. It's just on like Donkey Kong. It doesn't have to fit into some arcade system like New World where it's meaningless and you just get thrown into like a Theaters of War map, 50v50, and then you duke it out. Whoever wins it wins the war. Hell no. It like you got a history of games like Eve here, man. Like my problem is he wants everything to fit into a system where everything is going according to plan. No plans. Like, let it just happen.
On the red or blue org,
let the players like use the tools that make up the sandbox and the toys in the sandbox, but don't create these like systems or these specific roles we have to fit into. Like, if two organizations go head to head, they attack each other's territories until one of the organizations is reduced to dust. Yeah. And maybe that should only be achievable in like a null security system, or so be it. Yeah. But like, just let it happen. It doesn't need to be some gimmicky system.
Get the same set of 12 new quantum markers. 4 are at random ground locations, 4 are in random cave locations, and 4 are in asteroids. Members of the red and blue team orgs will not get crime stats while in the general area of the markers. Now, the people who are presumed to be the yellow team, well, without the 12 markers, they're kind of out of luck, right? They have nowhere to go. Anyway, scoring is, if both sides are equal numbers, 1 point for every minute that they are the closest team to 8 of the locations.
This is like people complain that master modes is arcadey. Well, this system sounds arcadey. Talk about breaking immersion. If there's some like sport mechanic this turns into, we have to capture the cave. Like, what the hell are we talking about here? No. We're gonna bomb your villages Okay, your organization's villagers gonna cut off your supplies, murder your players, take all your loot and your treasury. Okay, like that's it. Like scorched earth, glass the planet. Not this like weird, I don't know, weird design you're talking about, like this war system or nothing. No, it's just hostilities. That's it. Like let it happen.
If, as the number of players on both sides is or becomes asymmetrical, then the limits are adjusted. So, for example, 9 locations for the larger side and
Like this
7
sounds like
for
an
the smaller.
arena commander
So,
map.
think of the benefits of this. It spreads out the action. It is almost impossible to stream snipe. And there's a clear measure of which side won and which side lost. So, since I've been bouncing around several topics, I thought I would finish by touching upon what Jared said at the end.
But I don't think this captures what a sandbox is. Yeah, like this, it's an MMO open world sandbox. You're talking about a very arcadey game mode that should not exist in an MMO. Like, unless we're talking like instance, but it's a free open world. There's no loading screens. Like, we don't have instances in here. So, like, no. Terrible take. Please make it stop.
The Star Citizen Live on Friday about SATABALL. Frankly, I think that they
Oh
should
my
make
gosh.
SATABALL a map in Arena Commander. It would be simple to do, fun, a way to practice mastery of EVA, and beyond that, specifically because of the nostalgia factor that it represents
SATABALL was not on my bingo card.
for longtime backers.
This field, this game, is a part of our past, Ray. It reminds us of all that once was good, and it could be again.
What am I watching?
Oh,
Why are we watching? What is this? SATABALL? Where did this come from?
oh. People will come, Ray. People
Hell yeah,
will most
Ray.
definitely come.
I'm gonna come, Ray.
Now, for an update on our giveaways, we continue to make progress towards our goal of giving away the Zippy Zazzy Zaftig Zephyr, the Zeus 2 cargo, as well as our larger goal, the magnificent multi-role mining meta, the Arasta. Now, if it
cool.
seems like progress is moving slowly or occasionally moving backwards on the member months, it is because I am counting the months of current members. So when someone fails to renew, the number can go backwards, but it
Oh, okay. So he's done. Damn it, Ray. Yo, you catfished me with PvP orgs and distribution centers just to hard pivot to SATABALL. Damn it, Ray. Damn it. Okay. Wow. It was like going great for a minute and then it plunged straight down into the earth. So, I hated this. No other words to say. I hated this. Ray, please leave the org wars up to interpretation. Let players play in the sandbox however they deem fit. And no gimmicky gameplay systems to control the content. If your organization is in a war, okay, which clearly isn't going to happen in like high security systems and stuff like that, it's going to happen in the low and null security systems. Let them duke it out. We don't need some cave capture the flag mechanics or anything like New World, which is absolutely sinking. I'm hearing that, thinking about turning it off, getting rid of it. I hear that New World's like getting close to getting its servers turned off or something. Anyways, point being, gimmicky systems aren't for open world sandbox MMOs. Okay, we don't have a gimmicky system. Hell, we have prison sentences and prisons. Yeah, we don't need some magical flag that appears for guild or corporation wars. Dorky, don't like it. As for the distribution center stuff, I like the idea of the rotating meta distribution center. That's dope. That's like the Jumptown shenanigans. Make it profit, because a lot of the players that are looking for the distribution centers, they're not interested in each distribution center. They're interested in the converging of players. So encourage the convergence of players with a meta bunker. That's the one I'll go to, and I won't be interested in any of the other bunkers. And players that are less interested in PvP, I'm assuming like Ray, can go there and have their fun too. Will you run into PvP there now and then? Probably. But, you know, free for the most part. and then put all the PvP sweatlords that are in it to finally get some FPS gameplay happening. Let that happen knowingly. So I love that idea. Loved that idea. What else was there? The attacking events. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really care for that stuff anymore. I'm bored of it. What else was there? The box missions. Yeah, don't know. Either way, okay. Fun video. I enjoyed it for what it is. Yeah. Thank you, Ray. Appreciate you, brother. I'm gonna put the video in the description. Get in the damn Discords and give me a 1, 2, 3 in the comments because you got this far. GG's. I appreciate you all. And actually, I got a podcast with Salty Mike coming up. He's the next guest, okay? Look for that this week. All right. GG's. Peace, and I'll catch you next time.